Hello everyone, Shubh Vijayadashami and Happy Dashera. Today is an auspicious day, a day that signifies victory. Normally we look at it as if it is victory over evil, which it is, but it also signifies much more than that. Today's day signifies our own victories over our own incompetencies, our own weaknesses, our own shortcomings. So, today is an apt day for the topic that we have taken, and the topic is to become victorious in descriptive. Descriptive is a section which is there in all exams, most of the exams. And if you look at this section, there are so many challenges that students face in this. And today in this session, we are going to help you sort out those challenges in this descriptive section. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, why now? Now, we have just got the notifications, we have to go for the prelims, and when the prelims are over and the results come out and we qualify for mains, then only the descriptive would be helpful for us. Now, if you are of that thought process, you need to change it, because my dear friend, descriptive is something which takes time to build up. Descriptive is something where your abilities to become good at descriptive or be victorious in descriptive would take a little bit of time. So, how are we going to sort out the challenges that we face? We will first look at the challenges that we face, and I'll just refer to the queries, the questions that students ask at various stages to me about what to do in descriptive. For example, the first query that they ask is when to start writing. You know, that question, that should we start writing after the prelim results come? I already told you no, right? But when to start it? I'll come to that. Next query that is also relevant and is in the minds of a lot of students: how to start writing without errors, without any mistake. How do we write? Right? That is another thing that is, in mind of many people, right? Irrespective of their schooling, their background, their language, their preference. How do we write without errors? We will discuss that. How do I write to impress the panelist, the person who is checking my paper? How do I write to impress? And what do I write? The final question, what do I write? What do I start writing with? Okay. Now, these are the four major queries. If we get an answer to these queries, your life would be sorted in terms of descriptive. You would know the roadmap of descriptive. Just like we have discussed the roadmap of English, we have discussed the roadmap of quantitative aptitude, DI, and reasoning and GA, right? In our previous lectures. With respect to SBI PO, but they are as relevant for any exam of that nature, which would be occurring in the next 2.5 months or 3 months, right? Similarly, we are going to do the same for descriptive. We will create a roadmap for ourselves on this auspicious day so that we follow that roadmap and come out victorious in descriptive. Okay, right? So that's the plan, and the plan would follow by taking the lead of these four queries, these four questions. So, the first question, when to start writing? I told you that you cannot wait till the results of the prelims. Yes, understood. But when? Well, you start from today. Shubhasya Sigram, right? Okay. So, the moment I tell students when to start writing, if they ask me this question and I say from today, there is an emotion that comes in their mind. Sometimes they show it, sometimes they don't show it. I'll show that to you. What? but I don't know how to write. You are saying that start writing from today, but I have no idea how to write. How do I write? Now, my dear friends, please understand, writing is not an end in itself. It's a process. It's like, when do I start playing cricket? When do I start cycling? When do I start swimming? What would be the answer to these questions? If you are sincere about those activities, the answer to those queries would be from today, right? Okay, you don't wait for some Shubh Muhurat to start cycling, swimming, or exercising, or whatever you want to do. The same is for writing, and it's a process. Why? Just like cycling, just like swimming, just like driving, it's a process. It's not an end. You learn by doing it, right? So how you would write would be dependent upon how much you write. It would not be dependent upon when you start. It would be dependent upon how much you write. Okay, right? So start from today. Now you might ask that if I start from today, how do I do it? Where to start from? That's the fourth question. We will come to that, no doubt about it. But this should be clear in your mind, my dear friends, that being good at writing, being efficient at writing would take time. And when we know that it's going to take time, why would we waste time and wait for a time when it would be too much tight for us to become good at this, right? So you need to start from today. Today meaning today, tomorrow, as soon as you can, right? Next. The next question that comes, and relevantly so, how to start writing without errors? Sir, I would be doing so many mistakes. I mean, you say that start writing from today. Okay, we got it. But I would write so much error-laden sentences and will do so many mistakes. So wouldn't that be odd? Well, my dear friends, no one starts writing without error. Even Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, when he started writing, had done mistakes. So who are we to think whether we would do mistakes or not? Please understand, doing mistakes while writing is a natural step of learning writing. And there is another thing that you need to understand. I took reference of Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. He wrote in literature, right? So the effectiveness, the efficiency of his writing would have had to be at a different level altogether. We do not need that level. We are into professional writing, right? So our writing needs to be only error-free, to the point, and easy to understand, right? Easy to read, easy to understand. So that's what our writing should be. That would take time, but not as much as if you want to become a great writer or a great writer of literature. That would not take as much time as that. This would take time, 1 month, 1.5 months, 2 months, depending upon person to person, but it would be done in a very short span of time. So professional writing is what we are looking at. And whatever writing you start with, professional, literature writing, creative writing, everyone starts writing with error. Without error, no one has started writing. And one of the things that is also relevant to the last question is that the last question was that I'll just show you the last question. What was the last question? When to start writing, and what was your emotional outburst with it? But I don't know how to write. Now, my dear friends, this is half truth. This is not full truth, na? Because if you do not know how to write, you wouldn't have been here appearing for one of the most coveted exams of this country. Would you have been? You have cleared your school exams, you have cleared your 12th, you have secondary, higher secondary, your graduation, and then you are here, na? So saying that I don't know how to write, that's a false statement. The problem is that you do not equate that writing with the writing that you are supposed to do in this descriptive. But they are not as much different. That was also professional writing, technical writing. This is also professional writing, right? Okay. Yes, you need to be more efficient, effective in that, whereas there your writing was on the basis of whatever you knew. You had a set standard answer ready. Here you might not have a set standard answer ready because the topic might not be something which you have prepared, and gone, but still you should be able to do a good job out there. That is there. But saying I don't know how to write, that is wrong. Okay. Now, here comes in this question, how to start writing without errors. And in this, the emotional outburst that I get is, but people would laugh at me if I write or speak wrong, right? Okay. So, if people would laugh at me if I write or speak wrong, how would I write or how do I speak? This goes on for writing and speaking both, and that's why I drew a slash. That how would I get people right, because then I'll get that feeling that I'm not as good as I should be. So I have two answers to that. First of all, how does it matter if people laugh at me if I make a mistake, if I do an error? How does it matter? It doesn't matter. If I do not try writing now, they would not laugh at me, I am sure. But if I do not try, then my chances of making a career or getting my dream job also gets reduced, right? At that point of time, they are not laughing at me at this conjecture, at this stage of my life would not matter, because I'm losing on my dream, right? Okay. Sometimes people laughing at us is necessary for us being motivated enough to go on full throttle in chasing our dreams. And that's true. I'm not saying that go and make a laughing stock out of you. No, it's not necessary to do so. But you can definitely ignore if someone comes across your writing piece or your spoken piece and laughs at you. Have a laugh with them and they would get confused. With them, you also laugh at yourself and they would get confused. Yeah, what kind of person is he? He is laughing at his own mistake. They would get confused and then they would go away. But coming to that point, that no reason is reason enough for not starting writing now. And writing without errors though is not a reason at all, because you would make mistakes and by that only you would learn. Now you would say that, sir, how would we learn? We can't get our writing checked every time we write something, right? So how do we know that we are making a mistake repeatedly? Very good question. But that is where your reading would come to your help. You, in the process of these next 2.5 months till your exam, would be reading a lot. Now, when you read a lot of correct sentences, when you read a lot of right constructs, then you automatically get an idea about the right formation in which it should be placed. So, when you are writing, you might be doing a mistake, but the next day when you yourself pick it up for evaluation, you would see you are identifying your own mistakes. And nothing is better than that. You identifying your own mistake, nothing is better than that, because it would ensure that you do not commit the same mistake twice. Getting my point, right? Okay. So and reading is very important. I have already told you in my English roadmap plan only that how important reading is, right? Okay. Okay. So that's something that we need to understand. So start writing without errors is not our target. Starting writing is our target. Okay. Okay. Now, how do I write to impress? Next question, why are we writing? Yes, in the long run, we are writing for being a good professional, for being good at our job, whatever it is. But in the short run, our main target is in the short run to clear this exam, isn't it? Right. So, how do I impress the evaluator so that he or she gives me a high score? So, my dear friends, the answer to it is also very simple, which is don't try to impress. Don't try to impress. And the answer, the reason to this lies in one of the other things that I have told you, and that is that this is professional writing. This is not creative writing. You would not be marked more if you are creative. Yes, you might get a little, 1 or 2 marks more for being hyper creative, but your majority of marks, the lion's share of your marks would be dependent upon 2-3 things. Whether your writing is easy to read, whether your writing is easy to understand, and whether your writing is relevant to the topic. These are the 3 things that would ensure good marks. If you are able to make yourself stand on the yardstick of these 3 parameters, then you would get good marks in your writing exercise of SBI PO or IBPS PO or whatever exams you are taking. Right? Okay. Just to give you an idea. So, what is professional writing? Professional writing is you get a topic for an essay and you get a topic for a letter. I'm talking about the banking exams. You write on the topic. You will have to be relevant to the topic. When the evaluator reads whatever you have written, he or she should be able to understand what you have written, what you are trying to convey, and it is easy to understand. Right? Do not think this. This is a mistake that a lot of people do. That if I don't impress, write impressive quotes, write good words, I would get less marks. No, it's a myth. In professional writing, it's a myth. And believe me, I have guided thousands and thousands of students in descriptive in clearing professional exams across all kinds of exams, starting from GRE, GMAT, to banking exams, SSC exams, and everywhere in professional writing. Let me tell you very, very clearly, it is your simplicity that counts. It is your ability to connect with the topic that counts. It is your ability to write with clarity that counts. Right? Okay? So, if you have this emotional outburst that you would not get marks if you are not able to impress, don't worry about it. Yes, you need to impress. You need to impress with your thought clarity. You need to impress with your writing, what you think clearly. You need to impress them with your relevance to the topic, not with big words, not with out of the way quotations. No, that's not necessary. Let's say you get a quotation which is relevant to the topic and it fits in there, do it. But just don't try to force fit things out there. I have seen so many students trying to force fit quotations, force fit good words, because they have learnt it. They want to show the show the person who is evaluator that, see sir, see ma'am, I know this word. See sir, I know this quote. That's not going to impress him or her. Right? Clear? Okay. So these were the 3 queries that you guys have shared with me across different platforms, and these are the answers to it. But then it would not be complete if I don't answer this. What do I write? Where do we start? Right? Let me give you point by point for the next 2 months how and what you should be doing. So let's take SBI PO 2021 as our counter. Okay. Now this is a smart question. What do I write? How to start? That's a smart question. Up till now, whatever questions you had were not smart questions because in reality they did not matter. Now you also know it. We had a discussion and you also know it. But this is a very important question, because I'm assuming that you have not been writing. If you have been practicing writing, you already know about the first three. And I'm assuming this is, those who have not started writing yet. For those who have already started writing, this becomes very important. For those who have not started writing, this is anyways important. Start with writing summary of one article every day for the next 10 to 15 days. Alright. Do not start with essays. Do not start with letters. Start with summary of articles. You are reading newspaper editorial every day, right? You are reading maybe magazine articles every weekend. Any one article every day, make a summary. A summary should not be more than 1/3 or 1/4 of the whole piece. How to write summary, if you want to check out, I would give you a link of a video where I have talked about how to write a précis and a summary. You can check it out. Now, next 10 to 15 days, do not write essays or letters if you are starting off now. If you have already started, you can go from the step 2. The step 2 is start writing essays on static topics every alternate day till prelims. So, prelims is, after 10-15 days, prelims would be another 20 days from then, or 25 days. So, 10 to 12 alternate day, 10 to 12 topics you would have already written. Now, this is at least, this is at least. If you are able to do it every day, then it's fantastic. If you are able to do every day, then I would also suggest to write 4 or 5 letters also in those 5 days out of those days that you have got, right? But if you have limited time, which many of you would have, then at least this should be done. Okay. Now, after the prelims, once the prelims are over, write essay and letter every alternate day. At least after prelims, at least, alternate days at least. Again, if you can write more if you want, but if you have time, but at least this much. Essay one day, then letter, then essay, then letter, right? After prelims, still mains. Here use current topics. Now, in the second step, what did I say? 10 to 12 static topics. Now, there is a reason to it. First of all, your general awareness or your knowledge about the current topics would be enhanced during this period. So, when you write about the current topics before mains, after prelims, you would be writing more sense than what you would be writing today. So, you would be making your hands stronger on the static topics and then moving on to current topics. That doesn't mean that you would not be writing any static topic on after prelims. Mix it up. If you can, and this is what I suggest in our course also, that also have a feel of writing apart from letter and essays, like précis you would already, or summary you would already have written, because you have written at the starting only 10-15 days. So that would be one. Okay, a little bit of story writing, 1 or 2 days, practice it. Now, why am I telling you this? There are 2-3 reasons. Yes, you would be targeting SBI PO and IBPS PO. But if for other exams, there are other writing activities also, like story writing, précis writing. There also it would help. But at least this much needs to be done. Before prelims what? Before mains what? You now know. So, next 10 to 15 days, summary writing. Then, after that, next 20 days, 15-20 days, alternate day, at least one essay on static topic. Then, after prelims, till mains, alternate day, essay letter, current topics also needs to be included in this. Okay. How to write, what to write, these all have been, how to write in the sense that how to frame sentences, how to create content. We have discussed all of these in separate videos. I'll give you the link to the playlist in the description section. You can go through those lectures also. They would help you to get yourself started. The concept of writing, that how do we create content, how do we articulate our content into sentences, so that the sentences are effective, simple but effective sentences. So these we have already discussed in many videos. I'll give you the link to that playlist. Okay. So that is what we had in mind in today, and we discussed with you today. Hope this was useful for you, and hope you would start working on it. Because remember, descriptive improvement would take time, and you have that time provided you work on the plan and a roadmap, a fixed plan and a roadmap that you create for yourself on the lines of the discussion that we had today. Okay, so once again, happy Dussehra to all of you, and see you in the next lecture. Bye bye and all the best.